You know, I'm not an anti-government person. We need our government to run our affairs of both our nation and our state. This last week of September, the Senate and the House and Congress back in Washington will be voting probably several times on what to do for a budget for the fiscal year 2026, which starts October 1st, well into next week. Now, the Democrats are acting up, saying they're not going to vote for a budget to keep our government going until health care issues get resolved, the ones that were hurt so badly during that big, beautiful bill, where Montana's lead road agent, Steve Daines, took the action of cutting back our tax base nationally by $5 trillion. That's $5,000 billion, and $1 billion is $1,000 million. And $1 million, that's a lot of pickup trucks. Well, he did that, and as a result, our tax base will bring in $1.5 trillion less per year. This is when you're talking about a government that runs on about 4.9 trillion a year. So he took a big bite out of our income capability by giving a tax break to himself and Governor Gianforte and his friends. That's hugely unacceptable, but that's neither here nor there. Right now, we need to begin the process of healing the way we govern ourselves. And the anti-government people, whether they're Putin arguing that we have a deep state, or they're the right-wing neo-Nazis here in Montana that are always jamming the court system like Trump does, just to foul up the system, we have to not be part of that. And I think after the election next year, 2026, the midterms election, hopefully there'll be a couple more people inclined toward actual governing of our country. I know that if I were there, I would be. And I think the big argument now for somebody who's taking over is not over all the nickel and dime issues. My God, the place has been wrecked by the rampage that Elon Musk went on, and then the other stuff we've been watching regularly happen. But we need to begin the process in 2 years of actually putting through legislation that's really necessary for the world that we live in today, in the aftermath of all the wreckage that's been caused by the first year of Trump's term. So if that's the case, the first step is to get our country onto a normal budget cycle. And so whether it's for health care or some other thing that's somebody's pet project, none of it's worth shutting down our government. We need to have our government continue in operation for the next year. No continuing resolution, but beginning October 1st for a full year. And the Democrats and Republicans that care need to vote for that. If I were there, that's what I'd vote for, because it's the beginning of a sensible return to actual government the way it was designed in the congressional branch. Anything less is just playing this game of chaos. Everybody's lost the bubble on it. And either you're for governing ourselves with a democracy, or you're against it. And if you're for it, I think we need to vote. Our representatives, Republican and Democrat, need to vote to keep our government open for another 12 months and approve all 12 appropriations bills that are pending now in the Senate and the House of Representatives. That's my 2 cents. It'll be painful, but that's how we'll start the healing process. Thanks.